Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I'm Holy Joe Rock and Roll for your 6th GOP debate analysis. This debate took place the 14th of January, Thursday night. Remember, I'm 6 hours ahead, so I'm just without sleep. Just watched the debate, took a shower, made a cup of coffee, and I'm here with my analysis of what I saw. Now, first off, again, this was a debate by Fox Business, which really had the best debate of the previous bunch, let's say, and they did not disappoint this time either. They really stayed focused on the issues for the most part. There was not a lot of this high school name-calling stuff, although there was some clash, you could call it clash, between some of the candidates, which we'll get into in a little bit. First off, the second thing off is that they finally started reducing the field. We got rid of Carly Fiorina and we got rid of Rand Paul, thank God. So the stage was only 7 people. Starting from the top, of course, we had Trump, we had Cruz, we had Rubio, we had Carson, we have Christie, Bush, and Kasich. And this time around, I used Twitter at Holy Joe Rock, which you can follow at any time, and I tweeted as I was watching the debate live with some of my reactions to what I saw happen live. And I'm going to do what I normally do, which is go from bottom to top, giving you my reaction to just generally or sort of holistically what I thought of the candidates. And I will also go through some of my tweets, and they're not that many, maybe 12, 15 maximum, and then also sum up, give you the summary, which I did in a one tweet. Managed to fit that in 140 characters, a summation. Let's talk about Kasich first. He's 7th on the stage, in 7th place, basically at the bottom of the pack. And this debate performance was a lot better. He was smoother in his presentation. He wasn't as angry and as jerky. And he actually backed Trump on one of the issues, which Trump said, I like this guy now. And that was so cool. I mean, the thing about Trump being this alpha male that he is, you see the strength, you see the power, you see the passion, and you see the confidence that this man has. That when someone says the right thing, he's willing to support you. When someone says the wrong thing, he's willing to smash you. So he is consistent in that. But Kasich overall was, again, nothing earth-shattering, and we'll see what happens in Iowa and maybe New Hampshire, but I don't think he's not going to make it. He's just not going to make it. That's my rough thumbnail sketch of Kasich, although, like I said, this is probably his best debate performance to date. Number 6, we got Bush, Jeb Bush. Now, wasn't Jeb supposed to be the smarter of the brothers, right? As much as people might hate George Bush, he was an animal. He was kick-ass. He was badass, right? Maybe it's because he was like the bad boy of the family. I don't know. But you got to admit that George W. Bush, with all of his faults, was badass, okay? Jeb Bush, he's not badass. He's a nice guy. He's maybe more of a beta guy, and he tried to attack Trump on many occasions, and he just came off weak. Jeb, I don't know, you're not focused on the people. The people are not wanting Syrian refugees in the country. The people are not wanting generically Muslims just coming into the country. And you're going to say that, we need to have Muslims come into the country so we can fight ISIS? No, we don't. If our Muslim allies want to fight ISIS, they fight ISIS in Syria and Iraq. They don't have to come here. We can do a Skype meeting. We can do a Polycom meeting. Not endorsing either one of those technologies, but FaceTime with them. Okay, FaceTime with the moderate, peaceful Muslims that want to fight ISIS with us. Okay, this 62 nation coalition. None of them have to come to the U.S. for a meeting. Okay. If the mission is kill ISIS, destroy ISIS, get to it, step to it, Anyway, Bush just came across weak. Kudos for you, trying to challenge the big dog, but you just look like a poodle getting crushed by a Great Dane or a German Shepherd. Not good. Christie, now, for all his faults, Christie, you may know that he got gastric bypass surgery, and he is losing weight. Excuse me, you can kind of see it in his face. His face is getting thinner. He's maybe not losing the weight fast enough. But, all fat jokes aside. Now, seriously, what is hilarious is that Christie, who, let's say, before Trump, was considered to be the bad boy and the ruckus guy. He actually, in most of these debates, and in this debate in particular, he's like sort of the let's bring us together, let's focus kind of candidate, which is really kind of interesting and maybe surprising, But he held his own, and he did quite well. I would say, I'm just saying this is sort of a holistic kind of look at the candidates, not going in that deep. All right, now let's go to Carson. Ben Carson, he's number 4. How can I put this? Ben Carson is a nice guy. He is a cool man. He is a, let's say, morally principled person. That's why he was a fantastic surgeon, a great doctor. But he's just not presidential material, and that's okay. That's okay. Not everybody can be the president. It's great to aspire to it, but not everybody can be it, and that's okay. So I think Carson, he did okay. One of his comments was he tried to make a joke about fighting terrorists that they'd be so busy running for their lives they won't have time to plan terrorist attacks. It was kind of funny, and it was a nice moment, but it I know for all you Ben Carson supporters, look, he's not going to win, and he really it's maybe it's good that he stays in, and maybe he supports the eventual nominee with his delegates or what have you. Maybe that's what his plan is. He's still fourth. He's still fourth, which is good, considering that he's quote unquote a nobody, an outsider. But it's just not happening. It's not resonating in anymore. Okay, number 3, Rubio. Now, what's important is that Rubio and Cruz went after each other, and honestly, I think that the short story is they destroyed each other. They really destroyed each other, paving the way for a Trump victory. Trump is going to be, not to bury the lead, but Trump is just dominating everything, and this just adds more credibility or adds more credence to the fact that Trump is dominating. No one can really put a hand on Trump, although Cruz tried, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But Rubio and Cruz went at it quite a bit. Rubio, again, I like the guy. But again, he's a first-term senator, and he is like a bright guy, but he comes across as a kid. He comes across as a lightweight, as a talker, as a debater. He doesn't have the experience or the gravitas that a guy like Trump has, or a guy like Christie has, or even a guy like Kasich has. But those other ones are not, they're not doing well either. Rubio, I guess liberal or even the establishment, last great Hispanic hope for the GOP, it's just not happening. And if you notice, he's got huge ears. He's got huge ears. Just pointing that out. As a side note. Cruz went at it with Trump. They asked him about the birther. As you know, Ted Cruz, his mom is an American citizen, or was. He was born in Canada. His dad was, I guess, a Cuban American, or no, Cuban. Well, eventually maybe Cuban Canadian, whatever. But when he was born in Canada. His dad was not an American citizen, and some people have questioned whether he is to be considered a natural-born U.S. citizen because he was not born in the USA. Now, look, if his mom has the State Department with confirmation of foreign birth, whatever that form is called, he would definitely be considered a natural-born U.S. citizen, right? So he probably should just say, "I've got that," if he's got it. If he doesn't have it, well, what Trump is saying is, look, go to a judge, go to a court, ask for a judgment to just say, look, have the court say, look, here's my situation, make a judgment that says that I'm a natural-born citizen, and remove all doubt, because Trump has said that probably Democrats, they will sue, to cause trouble. So get it solved now. But there was that clash, and Cruz really committed suicide, I think, on the stage. And this is where Trump just blew him away. Cruz tried to attack Trump on one of his statements, trying to say that not very many conservatives come out of the New York. And Trump reverted to a 9/11 speech that he'd given on another talk show and just decimated Cruz to the point that Cruz even gave up. And Cruz even, you see him applauding. You see him applauding. Listen, I'm coming out of New York, okay, and I'm a conservative, and I can guarantee you, yeah, the majority of people are liberal assholes, but when you see these people close up, you become even more conservative because you realize that you were right. And these people, there's a lot of people that are just, maybe they were conservative growing up, and they get to New York and they become more liberal in their views, or just more, the word is like, live and let live, that kind of sort of passive acceptance or surrender to some of the liberal craziness that you see in New York. Not even talking about, same sex or transgender or drugs or whatever, the crazy lifestyles that you see. Now, not everybody is like that, but even, there's quite a bit of people in the professional classes that are like that, and you see that. So Trump really decimated Cruz on that, and that was a massive blow to Cruz. I think Cruz loses Iowa now. I thought maybe he might win slightly, but I think Cruz is going to lose Iowa. Really, I think he's going to lose Iowa to Trump. Let's talk about Trump. One thing, and I should have maybe mentioned this in the beginning, I was a little bit pissed off because the debate opens up, and it's Fox business. They're pretty fair, and they go to every other candidate before they get to Trump. And I'm thinking to myself, do you want to lose the audience? People want to hear Trump talk. People want to hear Trump answer questions. And they came to Trump last, at least in the first round. 6 questions went to the other 6 candidates before they eventually came to Trump. And then it opened up, and Trump opened up a can of whoop ass, and he did his thing. And I think this is probably his strongest debate performance, especially in light of the Cruz counterattack that he had to do to defend himself and to defend the fact that there are conservative people that come out of New York. Okay, so that's just the rough thumbnail, and I appreciate you bearing with me on that. Let's talk about some of my tweets, which basically highlight my reaction as it was happening. So this is 4 hours ago when I started. I'm saying I'm surprised that Trump got the 7th question when you are the leader of the field. That was what I just mentioned. It was my first tweet. Then there was a good exchange with Cruz on the birth question between Trump and Cruz. Excuse me. The question was, is Donald Trump angry? Or Haley Barbour? What was it? No, not Haley Barbour, but the governor of South Carolina mentioned that, or implied that Donald Trump was angry. And, Trump said he's angry because the country is a mess. Yeah, and it's a good call. And it just totally defused this whole issue. That's some people are saying, especially people on the left, that Trump's tone is wrong. It was a great answer for Trump, and really a strong answer. Then I say Rubio speaks well but looks like a boy, and that's true. Christie busted his balls over liberal policy charge. Yeah, so that was one of the things that Rubio charged Christie as being liberal on certain policies, and Christie came back and really, held himself well. Like I said, he really almost like schooled Rubio in, like a mentor would, right? And that just really shows the inexperience of Rubio in many ways. Good guy, a lot of potential, future potential for Rubio, but it's not happening in 2016, people. Be honest. Let's get behind a winner. Focus on Trump, because he's going to win this thing. Okay, now, Jeb Bush. I made a tweet. Jeb, get behind the GOP nominee and stop saying real Trump won't win. Trump 2016 will win. Get behind the winner. You notice that in some of Jeb Bush's public appearances, he's saying, Trump can't win. Trump won't win. Like he knows something. Why are the Bushes going to assassinate him? You know, the Clinton-Bush alliance that Alex Jones talks about. Is it for real? Do you know something, Jeb, that we don't know about? You're going to kill him? Is that why he won't win? Okay. But then on the stage, he says that we need to get behind the winner, right? So do that, Jeb, and stop saying Trump can't win because he's winning. And if you can't beat Trump, you sure as hell can't beat Hillary. And Trump will beat Hillary. Okay. This is sort of off topic, but I mentioned that Maria Bartiromo is so beautiful tonight and well-spoken. Fox Business is the best. You know, I think I mentioned in the other last Fox debate comments, you know, I'm not really into older women, never have been. Tried it, didn't like it, but God, she's just beautiful. I mean, and you know, aging well. So what can I say? What can I say? Just being honest, okay? She's beautiful. So Maria, call me. All right. Put me on your show. How about that? Okay, Kasich. Another tweet here. Kasich, I say good answer for making the American dream come back, but the real Donald Trump can do it better and faster. Join Trump 2016 for the win. So Kasich was talking about bringing back the American dream and blah blah blah, but it was just you know, Kasich just has this broken loop where he's like, I did it before in Washington, I did it in Ohio. Kasich, we know that. We know you did it. Let's say you were part of the team that did it, and then in Ohio maybe you had a little bit more influence on what happened in Ohio. We granted, cool, but you're not the candidate that we want. Okay, you can certainly be part of the solution in a Trump administration. Like I hate to be so, I don't know, obviously pro-Trump. I'm not anti anybody else, but I'm definitely pro-Trump because I like what he's saying, and I like the energy, the passion, and the just no bullshit that Trump brings to the table. All right. Another tweet was to Ben Carson. Good answer to the moral question facing the nation, but real Donald Trump will put people to work and end the BS. So he was mentioning that, you know, look, the country's kind of lost its way, and he didn't say it specifically, but I got an idea. He was saying, look, morally, we've kind of lost our way with, you know, freaking gay marriage and, you know, celebrity status for transgender people, even if they still have their penis, you know, calling them beautiful woman, best woman of the year, bullshit, that kind of stuff. He didn't say that specifically, but you can sort of, if you know what's going on in the culture, that's what he's talking about. So it was a good answer, but again, Ben, it's just not going to happen. I'm just, it's not going to happen. Now, Jeb. Another tweet, Jeb, decent answer to gun control issue, but Trump 16 blows it away. The real Donald Trump is a Second Amendment champ. So, I'm not saying that Jeb Bush is anti-Second Amendment, but Trump, we know, is pro-Second Amendment big time. And you got to go with that guy. Now, Mark Rubio did have a strong anti-Barack Hussein Obama answer on the Second Amendment. But then Christie chimed in and blew it away with a stronger slam. Ted Cruz then came in and slammed it again with even closes the deal. That's what I said. So those three guys talking about the Second Amendment and Barack Hussein Obama's and the administration's approach to taking away your Second Amendment rights, not by enforcing the Second Amendment, but trying to figure out ways to go around the Second Amendment to take away your gun rights. And that's taking away your Second Amendment rights. When that's really well spoken on there. Now, here's where I tweeted, New York City is full of conservative people, especially we who have seen the mess liberalism makes firsthand. And I tweeted that to Donald Trump and also Ted Cruz. So we talked about that already, and that was a huge slam to Cruz. He got decimated. Then Jeb's answer on Iran was too weak and not convincing. I say Trump 2016 is the winner. Please drop out. That was my reaction to that. His answer. Kasich, his defense experience answer, well done. Did you practice? Oh, did you practice it? I said, did he practice that speech, basically? But again, Trump is the winner. Please drop out for the GOP win. All right. Next one. Here we go, talking about the ban on Muslim immigration. This is just ridiculous. Listen, folks, are we rational, logical people, or are we complete idiots? No one says that all Muslims are bad. It's not individual Muslims that are bad, but it's Islam, the actual textbook of Islam, which is the Quran, which they say, this is a quick aside, they say is the final, complete, and perfect book of Allah, but it has 109 verses to kill the infidel, not taken out of context, and 164 verses to do jihad against the non-believer, again, not taken out of context. That is in the Quran, which means recital, which means that was what supposedly Allah told Muhammad, who then spoke it, and that's how it was, that's the recital, right? But then they wrote it down. So human hands wrote it down. So either we say the Quran is wrong, so it's not perfect, or we say the Quran is not the word of a God, it's the word of Allah. But since it's such an evil book in its core, the core message, antithetical to what Jesus spoke about, there is no golden rule in the Quran. We might as well call Allah Satan, because the Quran is satanic verses. And I just told you 2 examples, 109, kill the infidel, 164, do jihad against a non-believer. That is just what we're talking about. There's something about the book that is evil, that motivates people to do violence against others that don't believe. So I say to Donald Trump, strong on Muslim immigration ban. His answer: Jeb Bush is a loser on the issue. No Muslim needs to come here to fight ISIS. I mentioned that earlier. Right? No Muslim has to come to the United States to join the coalition to fight ISIS. Go to where ISIS is and fight them. We don't need Muslims here to fight other Muslims that are already here. We got our own people to do that. So, again, another tweet. Jeb Bush, I'm so disappointed in your Muslim defense. Trump 2016 rocks the truth. Trump wins on the issue hands down, which is what I'm saying. You can agree or disagree, but the facts remain that we are not threatened by any other religion or any other group or any other sect except Islam. People who follow Islam. Some of them call themselves Muslims. Some of them call themselves radical Islamic jihadists. But the source of their inspiration is coming from the quote-unquote noble Quran. Okay? Nothing holy about it. Okay, Christie and John Kasich, they support the ban on Syrian refugees, and that's, I think, when Trump said, I like this guy, because that's when Kasich said, I agree with Donald Trump. Marco Rubio had a powerful answer also, because, look, the FBI cannot vet these people, so how could you let them in? Ted Cruz, he says that he's going to, utterly destroy ISIS. This means war. So if you want to go to war with ISIS, which we probably will, we probably will have to put some boots on the ground. But look, there's 5 million troops if you consider Jordanian, you consider Saudi Arabian, you consider Turkish military, and they're right there. Those Muslim armies should defeat ISIS if in fact Islam is a religion of peace. Now, the fact that they haven't stood up and fought these guys makes you wonder, okay, who they really are supporting. So it's not even a question here. It's in their book. Who do they support? Okay. So Ben Carson's answer was softer, but then you can see in his answer against ISIS, I would talk to the generals to find out what they advise you. And already it's like, look, the question was, Lindsey Graham has proposed sending 20,000 boots on the ground. Do you agree? And so Cruz's answer was softer but strong, and Jeb Bush continues with weak-ass answers. Stop it. Bush just came across pretty weak. You may be the smarter guy, smarter brother, but you're not the stronger brother. How about that? Okay. Then the question to turn to North Korea and China. And Trump on North Korea and China rocks. We have great economic power over China and win with tariffs. And we win with tariffs and use our best. So what Trump was saying was that, look, China has complete control over North Korea, or virtually complete control over North Korea. If North Korea wants to eat, they get probably 90% of their food through China. So China definitely has a lot of influence and control over North Korea. And Trump suggests that they are playing with us, right? That they don't have control, that they can't do anything. But we know that they have a lot of influence. They certainly could shut them down. We also, as the United States, suffering a $505 billion trade imbalance this year alone. It's huge. It's huge. Think about that. If you brought back, let's just say half of that, that's $250 billion. That goes a long way to closing the budget deficit with other controls in place. Or imagine having $250 billion to rebuild roads, highways, bridges in the U.S., right? That's massive. We have so much control over our own destiny. We should utilize it. And the tariff issue is like, look, if China doesn't play fair with us, we will raise tariffs. That's the threat. Trump didn't say he would use it. He just said he's open to use it. And use our best means, listen, he's used the example of Kennedy, the daughter of JFK. She's the ambassador to Japan. She's a political hack. She has no real rhyme or reason that she's there, right? The ambassador is maybe the main trade negotiator with Japan. We're getting creamed by Japan. The ambassador should be there strong enough to say, listen, stop ripping us off. So so using our best, using whether it's Carl Icahn or any of these other negotiators to go in, change the deals, change the term sheets, forcing these countries to play fair with us, or just saying to ourselves, listen, we're no longer going to take it on the chin. All right? Oh, okay, so here's where Donald Trump says, I'm liking him tonight to John Kasich, shows Trump wins on trade. That was, okay, so that's what he was talking about. Maybe it was the China thing or the trade thing. Mark Rubio's trade answer was weak. Trump come back much clearer and stronger. Jeb Bush was weak and Trump called him out. Yeah, Trump called him out as being weak. And then Ted Cruz, he misses the point. China already has tariffs against the USA imports to China. We would just make it same against China. So that was a part of the debate where there was a debate whether whose tax plan was better. Cruz is arguing for a flat business tax, 16%, but it applies to all imports. It's the same thing as a value-added tax or an import duty. Call it whatever you want, Cruz. And then Cruz was saying that he would abolish the IRS, but Rubio rightly said, look, if you're going to have this tax, you need people to enforce the tax, so you're not going to abolish the IRS. So that was a good point. That's why I'm saying these guys beat each other up pretty bad. And Cruz's tax plan is not good. It's not a winner. It's not a winner. It complicates things, and it just make it same, okay, with other people. Okay. Christie on infrastructure plan. It's so he's calling for a 8 3/4 tax on repatriated money. This $2 trillion money offshore. I say, but it should be brought in free and put into an infrastructure fund. That would be better. So imagine this. This is my idea. Other people have mentioned, let's say you brought this $2 trillion back, allow them to put it into an infrastructure fund, tax-free, so the money would come in tax-free, and then maybe the government would pay out, 2% dividend on that money, which I'm saying you wouldn't have to pay anything on it. What you say is instead of getting slapped with a 35% tax, you get a 0% tax on it. It goes into this fund, and you get paid back, I don't know, what is it? You get paid back 10% per year, something like that. So basically, you made 35% on your money. That's the way to look at it. If you're a company, hey, I loan it to the government for a couple of years. Hey, look, it's sitting offshore, earning no money anyways. I bring it in, tax-free of the 35%, and it goes to work building infrastructure. And that's a win-win for everybody. That's just a rough outline of my idea. Now, then I tweeted, Ben Carson, good answer on evil government. He made the comment that, look, Hillary's talking about evil rich people, and Bernie Sanders talking about evil rich people are causing the problem, and Ben Carson rightly points out it's evil government. that's causing the problem, okay? And that was a good call from Ben Carson. Now, I mentioned that Donald Trump, he's an expert on corporate inversion. Seems like no one else even knows that word. Trump is on the business, you have to hand it to Trump. He's got all of the business credentials and the business experience. And as he says, he wants to bring that knowledge to the White House. And it's just strong. Marco Rubio says that VAT is charged on employee salaries in Europe. Excuse me. That is completely wrong. I live in Europe. Now, I can't speak for all European countries, but in my country that I'm in, there is no VAT on your salary. Now, there is a VAT on services. So when I paid a lawyer, paid 30 to 23% VAT on the service. But that's like sort of an independent contractor thing. It is messed up. But it's not charged on employee salaries. My salary is not, the company is not charged 23% VAT, which is the VAT for Poland, on my salary. It's not. It's charged other things for socialized medicine, for retirement, for medical care, all this kind of stuff, but it's not VAT. Now, good that there's less people on stage. Tax plan. Ted Cruz's tax plan is bogus. VAT sucks in Europe, which is true. Christie on entitlement shut down Marco Rubio. He said you had your chance. That was a good moment for Christie, really. Again, he was schooling him like a mentor or like a, I don't know, like a alpha dog. Christie is an alpha dog, man. Trump says he wants to make America rich again, make America great again. When asked about his fortune, would he put his business stuff in a blind trust? It was a good answer. I say Trump is great. Listen, how are you going to put your business into a blind trust? You can't. Look, you could put stocks, you could put your portfolio, stocks and bonds, that kind of stuff, sort of passive income or passive investments into a blind trust. But the Trump Organization is a non-public corporation. And look, his kids will run the business, is what he's trying to say. His kids and his executives will run the business. He doesn't care about that. He wants to focus on making America great again. And that was a really great answer. And it really shows the commitment that Donald Trump has to making America great again. Okay. Another tweet. Christie is strong on law enforcement and cops, and so is Donald Trump. Both are against lawlessness. And that was one thing that you heard from both Donald Trump and Christie. Now, Kasich says violence is wrong, but in Ohio it's getting better. He's healing. His Heal America speech was long-winded, and I don't know. I don't know how true it is. I'm not from Ohio. The only experiences I have of Ohio is driving between Chicago and New York. And every time, usually at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm traveling on Route 80, which, as you know, connects East Coast, West Coast, goes through Ohio. And the Ohio cops almost always pulled me over for speeding at 2 o'clock in the morning. Nobody's on the road. There's no tolls. There's no nothing. And I've never paid a ticket, and I never will. But that just shows you what Ohio is, okay? I don't know, whatever. Give me a break. Okay, Rubio. Rubio, this really came out. He's weak on H-1B1 visas. There are too many foreign workers, depressing wages. My wage was lower in Silicon Valley, and I was sitting next to probably half the people at the company that I worked for. I'm not mentioning the name. Half the people were H-1B visas. Most of them from India or China. That's where most of them came from. And my wages in Silicon Valley with a tech shortage was lower than previous salaries. I was living paycheck to paycheck. It's an expensive area. And it sucked. It really sucked. So, it's bullshit. Now, here we go. Marco Rubio did hammer Ted Cruz at the end of the GOP debate, really called him out as a hypocrite. It was a good close. It wasn't the real close, but it was getting close to the close. Ted Cruz destroyed by Marco Rubio in the GOP debate. His rebuttal was not convincing. Both are toast. Trump 2016 wins. Now, Jeb Bush, then he makes some comment about backbench fighting between Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio was a waste of time. And why is Jeb Bush against encryption for free people? Is he against his First Amendment? I understand that you can't read terrorist messages that are encrypted. Wink, wink, right? Supposedly, at least publicly, we say that. But who knows what technologies, what encryption busting technologies the NSA has. We certainly know that the NSA was the ones behind, or maybe DARPA, behind the Tor network, which a lot of these terrorists use. And many of the servers in the Tor network are owned by the government. Hello, because it was set up by the government for spies in foreign countries to get their messages out. Okay, think about it, people. Okay, now let's get to the final tweet of the night, and I really appreciate you staying with me. The close, and here's how I rated the close. John Case's close was okay. Jeb Bush's close was lame. Christie's close was good. Ben Carson's was nice. It was a nice close. Marco Rubio was this canned speech. It's very like mechanical. You've heard it before. He's a debater. He sounded like he's on a debate floor. It was too canned. Ted Cruz's close, I classified it as good, but Donald Trump's was short and sweet, and he went in for the win. Just make America great again, make America rich again. It was a great close for Donald Trump. And those are my comments, right fresh out, unrehearsed, live and unscripted, coming right out to you. Like I said, I watched the debate. I'm 6 hours ahead. All I did was make a pot of coffee, take a quick shower, change clothes, didn't even shave, and I'm here for you. I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank the candidates for their performance. I want to thank Fox Business for being professionals, Neil Cavuto and Maria Bartiromo. Really a class act, and it really shows you when journalists can be honest and fair to the candidates. You can get a lot of good information from these debates, and I'm glad that they narrowed the field down. Hopefully, in the next debate, we'll be down to maybe 5 candidates. But it's almost not, I won't say ridiculous, but it's almost ridiculous. Trump is such a huge monster lead that it's not a foregone conclusion, but it's practically a foregone conclusion. We're going to have the Iowa caucuses in less than 30 days, right? And then we'll see. We'll see how it kicks off. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I really appreciate you staying tuned. I'm Holy Joe Rock and Roll. This is in the news, and that was your 6th GOP presidential debate for the 2016 campaign. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Take care.